Okay, if you have ever said that you were going to do something and then didn't do it and felt the sting of disappointment or frustration or self blame, this video is for you because we need to talk about self trust and how to rebuild it very gently, especially when you feel like you've let yourself down so many times, more times than you can count. Now, this is going to be a very soft but powerful conversation. So, let's start with the truth that so many people have never heard. Like, you're not struggling because you're lazy or unreliable or undisciplined. You're struggling because you have learned to prioritize everything and everyone else above yourself. And your brain no longer believes that you're a safe person to take seriously. Now, not because you're flawed, but because experience has taught your brain. When I say that I'll do something for myself, it doesn't actually happen. And that belief didn't form overnight, it formed through those little moments of self abandonment. And the great news is it can be completely rewritten just through those little moments where you honor yourself and keep the promises that you make to yourself. So why do we, have self-trust that breaks in the first place, and why it's actually not your fault? So self-trust actually erodes very gradually, okay, through patterns like when you say yes to others and then later to yourself. Do you ever do that? Or when you only keep promises when someone else is counting on you, or when you expect perfection from yourself and nothing else. It's like it's got to be perfect or not at all, or treating your needs as if they're optional. So many of us do this. And over time, our brain learns, well, we don't follow through, so why would we even bother trying? This is not a character flaw, it's just a protective response. Your brain obviously wants to avoid the pain of disappointment, and so it numbs your desire and it procrastinates or it shuts down attempts to change, not to sabotage you, but to shield you from potential disappointment. And that's why shaming yourself never ever works, because you can't bully your way into trusting yourself more. You got to rebuild it through safety. So, the identity shift that is going to change everything for you, I hope you understand that self trust is built. It's not built suddenly, like by being like highly productive or perfectly consistent. That's not the way that we build self trust. We rebuild it through the small promises that you make and you actually keep, especially the tiny ones. It's about saying that you're going to do something and actually following through. And every time you choose yourself in a very small way, your brain updates your identity. It's like, oh, okay, she said she was going to do it and she did it. Okay, she showed up for herself. Now, the size of the promise actually doesn't even matter. It's a follow through that counts. It's like saying you're going to do something for 1 minute and doing it for a minute. It's not, you don't have to do something massive. It's not about doing more. It's about just doing whatever you said you would do, even if it's just like a 1% level. And so the one little, self-honoring promise method that I'm going to offer you here, it's the simplest place to start. The first thing you need to do is just to choose one tiny promise for you, okay? And when I say tiny, I mean like laughably doable. Okay, I speak about 2 minutes, but just go 1 minute of stretching, 1 glass of water, 1 page of reading, a 3 minute tidy up, a moment where you just like take deep breaths, just like very short and sweet. And then number 2 is once you've chosen that tiny promise, you honor it and you do it every day. Gently, like no excuses, no catching up. All you have to do is that one tiny thing that you said you would do. And the third thing you need to do is track how you feel, okay, not the outcome. The win is never the action itself. The win is the message that it is sending your brain, like, I matter. I said I would do it and I did. I can rely on myself and I keep the words and keep the promises that I make to myself. And when you do this consistently, like even if just for 7 days, just try this out, you're going to notice how differently you feel about yourself. You're not going to feel like louder, not more motivated, but just steadier and more grounded and more you. Okay, that is your self-trust returning. And so this week, I'm going to challenge you just to choose one tiny promise to yourself. Just one tiny promise that you can keep and make it so kind and so small that it's impossible to fail. Okay, even if it's just like 2 minutes of stretching. And then show up, not to impress anyone, but to impress yourself if you have to impress anyone. It's not about keeping the promises that you make to yourself. And write this down, like somewhere where you can see. That is how I build the self-trust that I have, like that I need in order to go out and achieve my goals in life. I've got to honor myself in those small moments. I really, really, really do. And that is how your brain will begin to rewire your identity faster, like through those consistent, tiny, tiny, tiny honoring those promises, rather than like 100% effort every now and then. Just do it slowly and surely. And if you want that support from me, just to build this part of yourself, I've created a free guide that is going to help you get out of your head and into aligned action without any pressure or perfection. And inside you will learn 5 powerful thought shifts that are going to help you follow through. It's going to be so much lighter, kinder, and more natural. The link is waiting for you in the description. As long as you understand that, trust is not built through perfection. It's not built by doing crazy big stuff. It's just through presence and those honoring those promises that you make for yourself. showing up for yourself in tiny, quiet ways until your inner voice starts to believe you again. It's like you said you were going to do it. Oh, but you are. Okay, you can depend on yourself. And if this has touched something in you today, just tell me in the comments once one tiny little promise you can keep to yourself this week. I am always here right with you doing the work myself. I'm always making promises to myself and making sure that I keep them. That is how I build my own self-trust in myself, and I would love for you to do the same. Okay, I know that you can do it, and I'll catch you in the next video.